right, we're locked in. GloucesterCast 304, the annual surprise Joey on his birthday podcast, hosted by Kim Smith.
Surprise every year. It's like this real life right now. Are we serious?
It's a surprise.
It's still a surprise every year to you.
I swear to God, this is a surprise. I did not know.
Is it a surprise of who shows up, or is it just a surprise in general?
Is it a surprise how old we're all going each year?
I had no idea people were coming here. I honestly, I had no idea. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just clueless. Maybe because I'm sleep deprived from watching the Red Sox.
Sleep deprived, yeah.
51 is not like a big one. 50 is kind of a big one.
Yeah.
But 50, I wasn't thinking about like people coming here and singing happy birthday to me, but I'm very thankful. I'm especially thankful
For the
as always. It's all about people that bring me food that make me happy. Kim brought my favorite tiramisu, which is my favorite kind of dessert. Alicia brought her special coffee cake that she knows that I love, so I'm really thankful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
How was it? Was it really good?
So good.
Your coffee cake. You know how much it means to me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Isn't that sweet of her?
Anything I can do for
So
you.
sweet.
I'm
She's so
super
sweet.
happy that she's here.
I am. You know what? It's nice, but it would have been nicer if she brought the coffee cake. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. No, I can't eat that many carbs anyway.
No, we have the tiramisu. That
Do you
was
make the-
amazing.
It is amazing. Do you make the? I saw a couple. I don't know if it was a couple months ago. You posted that you made the coffee cake and you were handing them out to people. But
The coffee rolls?
coffee rolls, yeah.
What?
She's
Almost
now
a year?
made a coffee roll.
Probably in almost a year?
Has
I
it been
haven't
that
seen
long?
one in like
Yeah, it's
2
been a
years.
while.
So.
I might have dreamed of it.
Yeah, you might. Yeah,
You might
it might have been in your dreams.
I think I dreamt it.
We're dreaming it.
Have you been around? Do you remember Mamie's Kitchen?
No.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Wow,
Yeah.
Jesus.
We love that.
Just,
Yeah, I
you
think
know.
those coffee rolls have been at least 2 years because I've been trying to get her to make me a coffee roll for a year.
Alicia
For your birthday, maybe.
Cox.
No, like I even tried. Well, my ex was around. I was like, I'm just saying. Even for my birthday, and she was like, "Yep, no, not happening. Yep, no, not even for my birthday did she make one."
She's gonna be like Cher, and she's gonna come
gonna
out of
pop up in the
retirement, and she's gonna
apocalypse.
be like, "I'm not making the coffee rolls anymore." When you least expect it, she's gonna be like, "I'm making coffee rolls."
No, she's gonna make them in Amesbury where no one can get to her. Is what's gonna happen. She's gonna be stuck in Amesbury, making them in Amesbury where no one can get to her in a blizzard. Is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to be when I'm home.
You do seem happy, but you went from having a perfect situation where you're in Gloucester, working in Gloucester,
Right.
moving to fucking Amesbury.
Right.
But you seem happy.
How long a drive is Amesbury?
It's exactly 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Yeah. No, I am happy, and I've always wanted to move off the island, so I'm happy to do that.
Amesbury is an up and coming town, right? Explain.
Yes.
Tell us about Amesbury. What's cool in Amesbury?
So each one of their restaurants that they have, they have one Italian place, but everything is from scratch. Their pasta, I mean, it's amazing. That's called Restaurant Molinese. And then you have Fat Cat Bistro, which is kind of like a Franklin. And so
Is there a flatbread pizza company there?
Yes, they're the Flatbread Pizza Company. Then you have Trina's Starlight Lounge, where it's like corn dogs and old-fashioned hamburgers. Each restaurant really is just so amazing. There's only a few of them, right? There's probably like 4 or 5, but you can't go wrong. I haven't had a bad meal there anywhere, so it's really great. And a lot of the old shops, a lot of the run down downtown, popping up shops. They're doing spas down there, and there's upscale liquor stores, and so it's just so much.
This sounds
going
like
on.
the perfect place for you.
It's awesome. Yeah. No, it's great. So
a lot of these old mill towns are finding these resurgences.
Yeah, and they're redoing the old mills downtown into condos.
Gentrification.
So
That's what it is.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
No, I just came back from Oakland and I didn't even recognize it. I was like, what happened to this street? Oakland, California. And I was sitting in one of the blocks, and like we were in a brewery, and I was like, I don't even remember what this looked like 2 years ago. And they're like, oh, remember this used to be this rundown dive bar. And it was like this clean barber shop where they had like spot for kids and an old, like a outside chessboard and checkers and stuff for kids to hang out while their parents got like their fades and stuff like that. And then there's a brewery with an ice cream shop like right there too. And it's like the craziest thing because it's all these pop-up shops. And they've given these...
The artists and the artisans always make the rundown places the cool places.
Well, business owners and landlords are now giving these places, instead of leaving their businesses just empty, they're like, come in for 6 months, rent-free. If your business does well, start paying me rent. And that's what they've started doing, and it just took off.
Idea. Huh.
And now the place is blowing up, and everyone's starting to move in on it, and it's just become this big booming neighborhood now, and everyone's moving in. And with the tech boom and the gentrification, where everyone's being pushed out,
Everybody's being pushed out of San Francisco.
yeah, they're all moving to Oakland, and that's what's happening. Everyone's moving to the East Bay. You're seeing it now in Amesbury, and you're seeing it in all, like, even Lowell is changing out.
Boston is so huge housing shortage in Boston, and it's incredibly expensive. So same thing.
Parking shortage for sure. So really, we buried the lead with my. And I'm sorry that my birthday took the precedence over the big Red Sox win last night.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the story. And who watched? Hands. Right here.
I'm not allowed to.
But can we talk about the 18 innings? Come on.
I stayed up for it.
So, do you want to? This is the really.
I was up at 2:30 in the morning to offload a trailer load of 55-gallon barrels of herring. 2:30 in the morning. And I went to bed at 3:45 a.m. the following day. I was up for 25
hours.
And you lived to post about it.
I was all in. I didn't go to sleep.
The most amazing thing about breaking that record, and I don't know why anybody does, I mean, I just find this so interesting, is that the record that they broke was in 1916. The Red Sox were playing the Dodgers.
I did not know that.
The Brooklyn Dodgers. And that's what blows my mind. That's what blows my mind, is that the record was broken. By the same two teams.
102 years ago.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Nathan, so whoever watched, so most people didn't watch all the way through on the 18-inning game. I happened to, and even though we lost, I'm so thankful I stayed up to witness Evaldi's performance. The gutsy pitching. At 98 pitches, he was throwing 99 miles an hour.
Wow.
And this guy had 2 Tommy John surgeries. I mean, these are...
What's a Tommy John surgery?
It's like very hardcore reconstructive surgery on your... Is it elbow, Tommy John, or is it shoulder? So anyway, it's like... And this guy is going to be... So he could have completely wrecked himself, and he's going to be coming up for his contract is up at the end of the season. So, I mean, a lot of money potentially. He's probably going to be a $10 to $15 million, maybe $20 million a year pitcher next year. But if he blew out his arm, he's a $0 a year pitcher. Put it all on the line for this team.
His teammates gave him a standing ovation when he came into the locker room. Incredible. I mean, losing the game was hard to deal with, but I think a lot of people felt blessed to be able to witness how that game went. And then last night with being down, was it the 7th inning we were down 4-0?
Yeah.
Down 4-0 in an opposing stadium, and to battle back. Their bullpen is garbage.
And with 2 outs.
And how many the number of runs scored with 2 outs is nothing short of.
I'm not allowed to watch.
Why?
I haven't watched a single game all season. I've been following the scores.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to sit down and actually watch a game. So if I start watching now, I'm going to jinx it. And so the night of the 18 innings, I watched up until the 7th inning, And then the minute I left my friend's house, they scored that first run. So I was like, oh, well, then
you're out.
Yeah.
You're
so
out.
I'm like, I can't watch.
No.
Yeah.
So last night I was at Mile Marker for Halloween weekend, and they had every TV on, and my friends were like, you can't watch any of the television.
Thank goodness.
So what happened was they were all yelling, and I'm like, so something happened, right? Can you at least just tell me the score? So I was allowed to watch the last out of the 9th inning, at least.
With Kimbrel,
To watch the win.
shaky Kimbrel.
Yeah.
I was scared to death.
Yeah, he wasn't
But how about Machado? Okay,
Oh, please.
can we talk about Machado? Just this is
cheap.
so it's so cheap. I mean, it's obviously so cheap. But so now, old school baseball dictates that you drill the guy, right? But obviously, you're not going to drill him. Like if you drill him and ignite the other team and they rally from there, is dumb, right? Major League Baseball. So now, so even if they wait till next season and they drill him, you know what's going to happen is the pitcher is going to get ejected immediately. So we're going to lose our pitcher for a couple of games for throwing at the guy. While this guy intentionally, he could have ended like he did with Pedroia, right? Pedroia never going to play, probably never going to play again. And this guy took him, you know, that's a lot of money that he's taken out of the guy's mouth. Not that Pedroia's all set, I'm sure, but, you know, Steve Pearce.
Anyone else, too, that isn't making their way up. You know, that's on their way up.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's absolutely outrageous. So Major League Baseball, so he's in a contract year at the end of the year. Machado's in the end of the contract year. Major League Baseball should step in, and they should. I know they're not going to not let him play in the World Series because there'd be complete outrage on the other side.
Yeah.
But they should take games away from him next year that he won't get paid for, and they should fine him. Or else do they want him to get beaned? Because the only other way to get retribution is to beat him.
Yeah.
But they say, oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't throw at a guy. Well, I mean, what else can you do? What else can you do?
They'll find the guy that beans him.
And they'll find the guy that beans him.
So why don't they find him?
It's absolutely outrageous. What a piece of shit he is.
Well, why can't they just say it's an accident, just like everyone could have said.
Because that's just the way it works. That's just the way it'll go.
Retaliation always gets fined.
Yeah, that's the way it'll go. They'll go immediately. They'll toss the pitcher, they'll point to him, and they'll throw him out of the game. Just the way it'll go. And so this morning, one of my lobstermen came in to get bait, and I said, did you watch the game? He goes, you know what? I don't let my life be dictated by the wins and losses by a sports team. And he's a nice guy. I like the guy and everything, and I understand his sentiment. But I in my head, all I could think of, I really feel bad for this guy because the joy. I mean, this is so exciting to me, and like the emotion, the drama. This is this is better drama than any movie that I've ever seen in my entire life.
And you watched history. I mean,
I
watched that game. I was up until 3:30 a.m. and it was 7.5 hours.
Right.
And
So
I was telling Mike, I had a conversation with my daughters last night. I'm like, there's so many children in this country that have never had a single team go to a championship game.
I had to move here.
From
Michigan.
From Michigan? Nothing. The Lions, nothing. The Tigers, nothing.
The Tigers weren't doing well at all. But
College football, Michigan, go blue.
Go blue, babe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Bo Schembechler.
All day.
Yeah. Are you a Michigan guy or a Michigan State guy?
I'm a Michigan guy.
Not a Michigan State guy.
What, that tech school, that agricultural school? No, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Oh.
Little brother?
I grew up. Michigan was my second favorite team. Other than BC, I grew up loving, and Michigan was my second favorite team. Good, easy team to root for. So Michael DeKoster is here.
Hey.
We've been Kim. How long? How long have we talked about wanting to get him on? Ever since we found he was the director, right?
Right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning.
5 whole months.
Am I answering the question for you? Ask her the question and I'll answer it for her. But we're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Great events happening at Maritime Heritage. Did I say it right?
Maritime
Gloucester. Maritime Gloucester. Jesus.
That's all of them. All of the above.
Tell me how you got hired. What was it about you that you think that got you the job? as the
I have
director?
history in maritime organizations like Amesbury and Lowellsville Shop. I was there for a while, and at Hull Life Saving Museum. I seem to resonate pretty well with the board. I think I like their direction, what they want to do with the place. We want to get it. We're pretty active in the community already, but I think we could do more. I think we can be much more of a resource. Hard to say that when you think of the fact that we have just had 1,100 kids come through in the last month and a half from all the grades, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades, all came through programmatically, and not just touring. This is like they came to us for programs.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
We have 6 or 7 groups that we partner with that come routinely using our resources. But I think there's more we can do just to have the community come by, and I think that's what we're really looking to do. Make it a working waterfront again, that sort of thing. Yeah.
The gig program just seems like every year it gets bigger and bigger.
They hold back. They only have so many seats that they have more people that want to be rowing than they can actually offer memberships to.
Wow, I didn't know that. So
like
they so if they built, is the answer to build more boats?
I don't know what the answer to that is, because it's not the number of boats; it's the number of people that can cox, that can actually take the people out. There's a lot of rowers, but not everyone's a coxswain. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I'll tell you, I say the same thing about the dories. There's no better value on this waterfront to get out on the water than the gig program. The door. You also have dories too. You can take out dories, right?
Dories as well, but we haven't really started the dory program back up. We got to do that.
Well, to get on the door, even the international dory people like that. That membership is next to nothing. The oars that cost you the most, but at your place you probably have oars that people can use.
We do.
So you should pay for a membership at Gloucester Maritime Gloucester.
Maritime.
Fuck, I wouldn't. Do it.
No, 'cause it
I'm
used
just
to
glad that you keep talking about it.
How much is a membership?
Family membership 60, individual memberships 40.
60?
Yeah.
60?
60.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's almost embarrassingly cheap.
It's so reasonable.
It is.
It's so affordable.
So you can get out on the water.
Those aren't to get out. Those are just our memberships.
Okay.
The water programs, the gig rowers, I think it's $175 for the year.
For the year.
But still, it's like
pay for a mooring,
20
pay to
cents a
get your
row.
boat clean, pay to get your boat out of the water, store your boat, everything.
Oh, really? Wow.
And
Wow, thanks.
you get out on a dory or on a gig, and all you hear, it's funny because we're here at the dock. You can probably hear 7 different motors running in the background all the day long. That's all I hear is these pumps grinding away in my ears, and like I'll go down on a dory and pull away from the dock. All of a sudden,
It's so quiet.
that's all you hear is the clicking of the oars and the whoosh of the water from the.
It's romantic, isn't it?
It is so romantic. It really
You
is.
make me fall asleep. Just thinking about it.
I thought I was going for something else.
We're trying to.
I was going for something else, but
That's relaxing.
as long as Kate doesn't have that reaction, I'll be all right. For Christ's sakes. But anyway, but it is more the tours, like that upstairs part.
Yeah, schooner gallery is
The
gorgeous.
schooner gallery is so beautiful, and I go back and we probably talk about this 3 or 4 times a year about like the top, like when people come to Gloucester, what the top
What are
things
the
that you
top
need to
things?
do.
Yeah.
You know, the Heritage Center is always in my top 5. I always say a sail on the landing because those are my people.
They're great.
They're great,
They're
absolutely.
top.
Harold Burnham is fantastic as well, but those guys are
You
my
brought
people.
schooners back to Gloucester?
Huh?
You brought schooners back to Gloucester?
Absolutely. Harold is incredible too. So I say that
Cape
I
Ann
say
Museum.
Cape Ann Museum, like people, and even local people that haven't gone to Cape Ann Museum, bananas.
Right, Gloucester
What's that?
Stage Company. Gloucester Stage.
Then I go. I'm talking about. You want me to? I'm talking serious here. I love Gloucester Stage, but I'm not saying it's top 5. It's right there,
It's right there.
but it's not top 5.
It's right there.
Well, if you're talking about a family coming into town
Right,
wanting to do
right.
things,
You want me to?
learn about
I have to.
Right.
I'm not. You're the one trying to stuff this on me. I'm trying to keep my credibility here,
Yes.
and not that. So I'm going to explain. So let me finish.
Okay.
Then Maritime Gloucester,
Right.
right? Then you can go. You have to go for a breakfast, all the different pick a great breakfast place, a coffee place, and then then you go to go see a play.
Then that night you go see a play.
And then that night you go see a play.
And the cool part about that list is like none of those people. Those are all great individual experiences that give you like the flavor of it. None of that's redundant. None of that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That you don't get, that you can't get in Topsfield.
Exactly.
That and God, I hate that I repeat myself all the time, but it bears repeating. Like,
that's 51.
Huh? That's 51 being old. And, well, probably the Alzheimer's, right? No, but I mean, we're so filthy with these cultural things.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's so outrageous
because it comes ground up.
Yeah.
None of this stuff has been brought to Gloucester. This is all from Gloucester out, and that's the part that's the best about it. You know.
So, what type of what things do you see that can be improved upon at that place?
I want to see more like actually just community classes. Make your own ore, you know. Come in and like we're going to do a woman's dory build, you know. Have them take a class to build a dory. You know, the working waterfront itself it's been a great asset to us. It's been something, but we haven't really told the story as well as we can. We're hauling the Savannah Beal in the next couple of weeks.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Tell us about, how did that come here?
Harold bought it from up in Maine.
How do you say the name?
Savannah Beal.
Sylvina
W. Beal.
W. Beal, the schooner.
Yeah, the schooner. 80-foot, 17 beam. He knockabout schooner, 1911. The newest and oldest schooner in the harbor right now. He brought it down with a crew through some pretty decent weather. And quite a feat, and it was really nice to see him bring it on. It's sitting at the dock right now. And we've been working on the railway since the remediation to get it ready to haul boats again. And
so he bought it.
Yeah.
And what are the future plans for it?
So he's going to haul it out for the winter, get it out of the water, get it protected. We're going to use it as kind of an educational resource during that time. And then he'll bring it out to Essex and have it redone. He's going to get a National Historic Landmark status first, so he's going to be working on that. I'd say this is a 3-year project.
Yeah, 3 years.
You know what the nice?
It takes a couple years.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about Harold Burnham, right, is his track record. Right. So now all these, like, you know, the Dunsky Foundation and all these generous people that make a lot of great stuff happen in our community. You're not placing a bet on a dreamer.
No.
This guy is.
He says he's going to do it. It's done.
It's done. Yeah. It's done. cut the check.
Yeah.
Just cut the check, because awesomeness is gonna happen, right?
Just stand back and watch it, because it's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, you can get behind. And you know, okay, here's the other part about this: 80-foot boat. Okay, very important.
That's a manageable size, isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so it's not a pipe dream to. Like, this can be docked someplace. Mm-hmm. That is not going to be a complete nightmare like that. It takes up so much. It can. It most likely will be sustainable as far as the money to keep it maintained. Because the insurances and the upkeep on these boats. When you have a monstrous boat that takes a monstrous crew. I mean, it's every year is unless if the money isn't. People have dreams, but you have to have a plan.
Anything on the water is a challenge, right?
Believe me, I get it.
Yeah, right. But the thing about it is Harold's going to do this build with the community. I mean, you could actually, if you're a community member, you can actually reach out to him. You could actually do work on this. Yeah. You know, he incorporates and folds it into the entire fabric of the community. Yeah. So anything we can do to help him with that, absolutely.
Oh, no question. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
So I have one little question. What is a knockabout schooner as opposed to a pinky schooner, or what is a knockabout?
So they've changed over time. That's a big question, so we'll take a bunch of time. But they've changed over time from tobacco boat to a pinky schooner, slightly smaller schooner, a little beamier, able to be handled well. As the schooners started getting bigger, they needed to make it simple, they put dories on the deck and started instead of hand lining off the deck. So a pinky schooner was something that they would hand line off the deck. Okay. And the knockabout schooner started getting bigger length, started going out further offshore, started bringing dories, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot about the hull shape.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
Come on down there.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
We will explain it to you. Right.
I'll tell you. So the railway is going to be operational.
It is. Actually, we are the oldest continuing active railway in the United States. That railway, and second only by Gloucester Marine Railway across the way at Viking and such. But it's operational. Our teams at Zimmerman has been working very hard to get a group of people together and put that thing back together. Part of the remediation was redoing the engine, redoing the switches, got that all operational. We've been diving on it recently to make sure that it's all clear and ready. A lot of silt from last year's storm came up and just buried it, so we've been cleaning that all out. And a year later, we're still working on that. But getting it operational and getting this boat up on here is a huge, huge part for what we want to do. And then making this, like I said, that whole area, having that be a more interactive tour, something that the public can actually go behind the scenes and see how Marine Railway actually works would be kind of cool.
So
very exciting. Very, very exciting.
It is exciting. There's always a big push. As long as I've been alive, when you come up, and Alicia will speak a little bit to this, but like you go in high school, grade school, high school, and the thing, and I was always told, you're going to college, everybody's going to go to college, right? And so much emphasis on getting a college education, and a lot of kids go and they get like an English degree or an art degree, which is fine. It's wonderful to be a playwright and stuff like that. But we have fishermen, right? We have fishermen that need to get their engines worked on, diesel mechanics. These diesel mechanics charge, a lot of them charge $200 or more to show up. Then they make like $150 an hour.
Yeah, wow. Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not just diesel mechanics. It's electricians. It's plumbers. It's all these trades, and like they're like. I wish there was more training and programs to get kids into stuff to work on boats.
And there is actually
because there's so much opportunity to make a ton of money. A ton of money.
A lot of the trade focus from the colleges on Cape Ann, I was just at our education roundtable a couple weeks ago, and they're really focusing on that again. Not every kid is ready for liberal arts education or something. Right. A lot of them want to do, and that's the history of the working waterfront that I'm talking about. The fitting out like businesses that schooners would support for years and years, they got lost in here. There was the mechanics, the different types of.
The fish. It's in fairness. Like we had a bazillion more boats. I mean, there was a lot more fish. They're never going to allow in this port the amount of fish that was landed even 10, 15 years ago. They can't. They can't consciously allow that amount of product to go over the docks because it's not sustainable. They know that now. And so all those workers went away because there wasn't enough work, but not
a transition.
Right, there was no transition. Right. But now it's like, there's the wane and ebb and flow. It's gone so, the pendulum has swung so far to not being any of these workers that there's a demand. It's just like the fish business, right? We used to handle, this wharf used to handle, tens of millions of pounds a year, right? But they were like 10 cents the fish, 15 cents, 21 cents a pound, right? Now it's all about selling a boat bringing in 800 pounds of fish but getting $3 a pound for it. You know what I mean? So it's all value added, more quality work. So these craftsmen making big money on smaller projects, and there's.
It's very exciting to see. It really is.
Yeah, it's just.
It's a new face of the.
But this is
a new old face.
The Heritage Center Maritime Gloucester can be a conduit to shepherd these kids into these type of programs.
And we want to just tell the story and get them to be excited about their own culture. We had a kid come through the other day that was great. We're up in the schooner gallery. We're doing our program, our regular science program, and all of a sudden he's looking up and, oh, my great grandfather was on that vessel in the model that we had. The whole thing stops. You got to start talking about that. You got to develop, and we get that again and again. And it's just great.
Yeah.
Getting them back in touch. So many kids have not been near the water.
Yeah.
Near the water.
Yeah. No, I hear it.
And so we've saved that section of that tract of land for future generations to be able to come and see what it was like and be able to identify that sense of place.
It's great to have, and I tell you why. It's to me, it's great to have, and thankfully, the people that had the foresight to save it for that, because there's never going to be the amount of fish. We need to do other things with our waterfront. The whole waterfront can't be just for the fishing industry, because the fishing industry has been so condensed, and they can't allow it to be that huge. So to have this parcel, this very important parcel, the heritage, the Maritime Gloucester, to forever be there, and to be supported financially and otherwise, is critical to our community. So thank you for coming.
Can you get that on a 30-second blurb? Beautiful.
Man,
transcribe that for sure.
Joey C says.
We can make that sound clip. I know a girl.
So you're talking about in finishing, open house Deck the Dock.
Yeah, we're going to do a little Deck the Dock holiday celebration. Kind of have an open house to let people come in. Going to start it. Ladies' Night, I think, is December 6th, Thursday, so that'll be kind of like the preview. And then that Saturday on the 8th, all day long, have people come in. We're going to have local artists, local crafts people. We'll do our own, you can make your own ornament. You can bring the kids and do it in the ice house, which is about as cool as it gets, about as authentic as it gets.
Yeah.
And hot apple cider, and maybe even a coffee cocoa thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some fun with that. Get Santa and a dory, take some pictures with your kids and Santa and a dory. And all that
We're going to put a link in the show notes for more information about that.
That sounds great.
Someone's going to put a post up.
That's a Good Morning Gloucester exclusive. That has not been said to anyone. There you go.
Love those.
Just for you.
I love those. Thank you, and thank you for being the voice on CapeAnnCommunity.com. Is our conduit for the local nonprofits to post their events. Michael does the ones for.
Thanks for hosting that. That's such a good resource.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks so much.
All right. Well, that was fantastic. Marty Luster is with us. Oh, I didn't go around and introduce everybody, did I?
No, you didn't, but I didn't want to interrupt you. So.
Oh, thank you for that. We're going to go around. Michael DeKoster, obviously, we just heard from. Marty Luster is here, who, fresh from you were laid up for a while, right?
I was.
All right. Marty's here. Alicia Cox is here. Her producer, B-Side, from the Alicia Unleashed show is with us this morning.
B-Side.
Heidi Dallin is with us.
That's right.
Kat Ryan is with us.
Hello.
She's hiding. She's hiding. There is some deep dark past. There is some deep dark past.
Witness protection program.
She's been relocated from the New York underground. I think it was her. The big museum heist. I think it was you. We found him. Wow. That's a huge reward. I think it's millions we can get in the reward. We can turn her in.
You've got a mirror hanging with the boys behind the boys' closet.
Tell me, I'll split the money with you for the reward. Just let me turn you in. Kim Smith is with me as well.
Good morning, Gloucester.
And did I thank you enough for organizing all this
stuff?
Yes, you did. And thank you for my gifts. That was very nice of you. Marty.
Yes, sir.
You had a stupid human trick, I think, went wrong. Is that what it was? Is that how you described it?
That's pretty close, yeah.
So what happened? You were on a moped or something?
August 5th. I decided that as a 76-year-old man, it would be a good idea to try out an electric bicycle.
Oh, like Paul Morrison has.
Yeah, that's it's all his fault.
Well, he turned you on to it?
He did, and it's something I've had in the back of my mind for a long time. And so I bought a bike from a place in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. They shipped it out, and they didn't tell me that it had to be assembled, or at least partially assembled. And I am not a good assembler, but my wife is. So it's also her fault, because when I couldn't get the damn handlebars on, she managed to do it. And it's a fairly complex arrangement, the way we're working. It's a heavy bike. It's 50 pounds. And I decided on, I kept putting it off, and then finally I said, well, I've got to give this thing a trial run. And it's got pedals and a motor. And I think, well, I'll just pedal around for a while and get a feel for it. So up on my driveway, which is a fairly large expanse,
and it's kind of a hill.
There's a hill.
Yeah. Well, Barbara warned me to avoid the hill and to only stay at the top portion. So I wheeled the bike out and got on it and tried to ride it, and realized that it was heavier than I expected and more unwieldy than I expected. So I got off, but never one to take a warning. I figured, well, let's try this again. We'll get it this time. And I got on the bike and I tried pedaling it, and then I realized that I had, not intentionally, flipped the gear shift lever into a high gear.
Oh,
so I couldn't pedal. And I just kind of started wobbling down the hill a little bit. And then the bike decided it had had enough and started going over, and I went with it. I was actually thrown from the bike onto the driveway. And had probably the most pain I've ever had in my life. And it was, Barbara kind of picked up the pieces and shoved me into the car and took me to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
And
a few x-rays later, it was determined that I had 3 fractures of the pelvis. I never knew I had a pelvis.
The screws? To get metal screws in there?
No, they don't do anything. Unless it's displaced.
Right. Fractures.
They don't do anything. But it took 12 weeks to heal. And much of that was in a walker and in a cane. And it was unpleasant, but it's good to know that even at my age, there are lessons to be learned.
But Marty, how's the bike?
The bike went back to Saskatchewan even while I was unable to move. And that's a whole story in itself. Try to ship a 50-pound bike.
Oh my God.
So we...
is it painful to walk now, or is it?
I still have back pain. And I had back pain. I had bad back before that. So it's hard for me to tell where one starts and the other begins, the ends. But by and large, I'm recovered. The only thing, we've always known that I was unbalanced, but my balance still sucks.
Jesus.
I've been doing physical therapy for the balance more than anything.
God almighty.
That's perfectly gruesome.
Well, we're glad to have you back. We were missing your, you're kind of off the grid for a little bit.
Yeah, I was. We're working back into it now, so.
Wow. Well, thank you. I'm
you won't get rid of me that easy.
Glad you're doing all right. B-side.
What's up?
I had no idea that you were a cornhole aficionado. Ranked Massachusetts ranked 74th ranked cornhole player.
That's incredible.
Had to do something
out of 500.
Had to do something in my hiatus.
Well, Alicia abandoned you.
A little bit. Yeah.
But I have witnessed these cornhole tournaments at Mile Marker for the Bluefin Blowout.
Yes.
No. You don't understand.
No, I've never seen
the dudes. They got they're wearing the sweatbands around their forearms. They got the gear. Have you ever seen the movie with Bill Murray, The Kingpin?
Oh,
No.
Kingpin.
Oh, Woody Harrelson and Bill Murray.
Yeah, with all the swag. Like these guys are like.
They do.
There is a cornhole subculture, if you will.
I have my own bags.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Right.
She came up to Salisbury, and I went to one of the tournaments. She was playing right down the street. Yeah, so I got to witness. I'm like, this is nerd.
Where did they play? Play on the beach in Salisbury?
They do, but I joined late. So what happened was I went through a breakup, and my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to play? I hear you play cornhole." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good," and just in someone's backyard, and then. I went to mile marker and was like, "There's a fucking league! Oh my god!"
Oh, so you saw it? You saw the league part?
So I didn't know about the one that they did during Bluefin.
Yeah.
But I went to the one right after Bluefin, and then
you saw how intense it was.
Boards, and I was like, "What did you get me into?"
Yeah.
And so we played poorly, but we had a great time. And then she found out that they do it every Tuesday night in Rowley. And so we started showing up in Rowley, and then we started getting invited to all of these tournaments on the weekends. Yeah. So
they travel.
Yeah.
So wait. So I just want to say this. So when they announced the Bluefin Blowout, and they go through all the different, because they try to make it family friendly. Right. All these different events, they have to fill the day. Yeah. Cornhole competition. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, whatever. But I'm there with my daughters, and we got as spectators. We didn't do it. We were spectators, and we picked out our who we thought we were going to win, and we followed them through the progression of the tournament. We were so into it. I would like to see legalized betting on cornhole, because that would be the ultimate for me. Just sit back with a beer and bet on.
And you know what though? We do that on Tuesday nights where we're like, what happens is it's called blind draw, where you get paired up with someone. Like, you don't go in with your friend and you're their partner. Oh. Like, you get paired up with someone random too. So what happens is throughout the night you're like, oh, this team, they're going against them. Oh, that team's totally taking it. And they could just, pile drive that team and, erase them from the entire bracket. And it's, every week it's a complete...
you were partnered with someone that was top in the state that you didn't even know about. There's just blind draw, so she's, so she's been partnered, that way, too. So.
If I was a single person... I'm going to tell you right now, I would be just like one of these cornhole freaks with all the gear and the sweatbands and all the stuff. Well, I would be all in. I would be all in. I'm telling you.
Single person's game? Is that what you're saying? Huh? It's a singles person game? Is that what you're saying?
Well, being a married person with children, you don't necessarily have time to be an elite cornhole player.
Some of them do it, and it is a single. I've realized it is a single person's game. And as a single person, it's kind of tricky even for me, because some of these people are like, "Hey, do you want to go to Hudson?" I'm like, "No, that's far." I don't. Even Salisbury is a little taxing, because what happens is if I get paired up with a good player and I'm on point that night, we could be there until midnight, and I'm like, "That's a hour drive back to Gloucester." Because some of them, they all live in Haverhill, so they're they get to go right back home, and I'm like.
Your corporate sponsors want to put you up.
But yeah, I mean, they've been. I've met so many of them. One of them is third in the state out of 500 people. So I'm 74 out of 500 in the state. Right
That's
now.
impressive.
That's great.
Do you practice?
Not as much because it's cold out. But my friends and I have been known to go to Stageport in Good Harbor and start throwing the bags.
Throwing the bags. Throwing the bags.
So when you play with somebody who's third in the state or whatever, do you learn? Is that a good way to?
So when I first started, they were just "Oh, she doesn't know what she's doing," and I knew that going in, and I knew that they were just "Oh, she sucks."
I got stuck with her.
Yeah,
I got stuck with her.
I do that all the time too. I go up to them, I'm like, "Hi, I suck. I'm apologizing in advance." Hi. But now I know how to toss the I know how to do the spins. I know how to barrel roll. They teach me and everything like that. So it's a crazy thing, because I'm just and now when people hand me a bag, I'm like, oh, this thing is so flimsy. I'm such a snob about
the weight in your bag.
Yeah. So when I was out in San Francisco, my best friend was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to this bar. They have cornhole there," and I was like, Are the bags like ACL certified? Because I can't play.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I love it.
Such a
I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, are they cheetah? Like, is the board going to be slide right? Like, I need to know.
Kim's daughter got married. Did one of the most beautiful weddings I've ever been to. The most gorgeous wedding out in Annisquam. I'm so sad because I really liked her. I have more of a bond with your ex-son-in-law than I love your daughter, but your ex-son-in-law, like, I had a kinship with him, even though I didn't know him. I have an online. He's probably like one of my third or fourth online BFFs. Yeah. Not because I talk to him regularly, but he's just like he's a tremendous artist. He's a film. He creates ads for Volvo and stuff like that.
Right, and he just moved to a new agency in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But and one of his accounts is Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he's very creative, and we have a lot of. It just seems
really
like a lot of the same. He's a good guy. Anyway.
I really like Matt.
So to get back to where we were going with this, they had these special cornhole boards made up for their wedding day.
Yeah.
So that the people were playing.
Those are really pricey too. And my whole thing was I wanted to learn how to do this. Just so when I go to people's barbecues next year and they're like, oh, let's play cornhole, I'm like, oh, how do I play?
And so take it from money. Sandbag them.
I'll totally shark everyone.
Literally sandbag.
But now that I keep talking about it, I'm like, yeah, everyone's going to know I'm a shark.
Yeah.
Like, because when one night I was going to Good Harbor with a friend of mine, and this guy tried to mansplain on the beach. He was like, oh, you got to throw it like this. You got to grab it. I'm like, yeah, we're in a league. Yeah, we know.
Shut them down. Shut them down. Mansplaining makes another podcast reference. Every week we talk about mansplaining. I love it.
It's rampant.
Huh?
It's rampant.
It is rampant.
It's been rampant for a long time.
Mansplaining is real. Mansplaining is real. So that's fantastic. Pat Dalpiaz, her debut volunteering at Gloucester Stage.
She's been there.
The sixth best thing to do in Gloucester.
Pat is very comfortable at the concessions.
Did you check the level? Did you make a line in the bottles before you let her to her devices?
We trust her.
You're crazy. You're a crazy person. She's an Irish woman with great. No, she's wonderful.
She's very.
I would mark
done
the bottles.
a great job. She's been running the concessions on her own. We just said her she knows how to make the coffee. She knows how to pour the wine. And there you go.
I bet she does.
Knows how to work the. They also we have the square for the concessions, so you have to learn how to input.
Oh, square, yeah.
The square, you have to learn how to do that too. So that's the.
It's probably easy for regular people, not people like that don't embrace like the technology.
Yeah, anybody can learn.
She's a techie person. She's a blogger. She embraces
it's good.
it.
It's great to walk into the theater and see her there. And,
she's awesome.
And it's good. And the Simon Geller show closes today, actually. So
that's been really well received, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So many people in the community say how much they loved it.
Yeah.
You have David Sedaris coming December 1st for the Santa Land Diaries.
Yes, David Sedaris, the Santa Land Diaries, super funny. We always do a Christmas event, kind of a fundraiser. We'll have a little reception, some food and drink, and a special one-time only show. And this is Santa Land Diaries, David Sedaris, and it's going to star Stephen Barkheimer, who was in a lot of really great. We did the Eightborn trilogy, which were 3 comedies, 3 years in a row, starring Lindsay Krause and Stephen Barkheimer. He's super funny. He was also in The Woman in Black, and our audiences really love him. So it's a one-man show, and a lot of it has to do with Christmas and department store Santas and
Bad Santa style.
Things like
Bad
that.
Santa style.
So
you might get me interested in that.
So it's really, and our directing apprentice Scott Karen is.
Can I ask you one
directing.
question? A spoiler, and you can tell me no if you don't want to reveal this. But is there alcohol? Santa with a drinking problem?
No, that'll be the audience because we'll be serving alcohol at that point.
With Pat over serving.
Pat will be. I think I've already lined up Pat to do concessions for Holiday Delights, and when she saw the David Sedaris piece coming, she was like, "That's great."
Who are some of the big up and coming kids in the program?
In the program, well, Megan Gallo, of course, who is one of the stars of my station in life, and she'll be in Holiday Delights. Anya Lichtenwald, who is the daughter of 2 teachers at Gloucester High School, Jessica Lichtenwald and Kurt Lichtenwald. Coach L, who send our prayers to Coach L. Yeah. He's doing very well. So, and some of I have a lot of really great. Who's going to
be the young one that steals the show? Because there's always one super young one that.
Talia DeWolf.
The next
No. The next
Yeah.
Ruby McElhenney. Ruby McElhenney a couple years ago.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Just toured the force, stole the show.
Yeah, but see, you didn't see Talia's first show.
But that was
Talia
okay. She was great.
Talia she was right there from the
Talia
very
always,
beginning.
but like you could expect, she's such a huge personality to begin with that you just expect that. Out of her.
You mean like
I'm talking about this little mousy girl that came out of nowhere and just
Ruby was
demolished, just left everybody. Oh my God! Can you believe that's Ruby McElhenney?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Ruby's in the show.
Is she still
we
there?
have little Scarlett Lee. Scarlett Lee, Dan Lee, and Janet Power's daughter, and their little son Calvin Lee.
Do you have any third generation people?
Third generation? Do you mean? Well, I have my 3 siblings, the McGees, which started out with Zach McGee, who's now in college, and then his sister Anita joined, and then their little brother Gaby, who was, I think, born the first year we did Holiday Delight.
Gabe was in, what was he in?
He was Dill in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right. There's a guy.
And
there you go. There's an example. There's a little guy came out and crushed it. Crushed it.
Yeah.
Love that performance.
And Gabe used to, this was, in the beginning, like the second Holiday Delights, and we had the crew, the McGees and the Turners were in it, and the Armstrongs and the Grays and the Donalds and Brianna Ward, and they all carpooled together. They all lived near each other. And everybody would get out of the car when Martha McGee would drop off, except for little Gaby, because he was 4 years old. And he was, why can't I do? And so she came to me. She goes, he's a little young, but could we try it? He's really so upset, and he really wants to do it. And I said, sure, Gaby's adorable. And he was so sweet, and he's been in the show ever since. Now he's in middle school. He made his professional debut at the theater. Zach McGee also, his older brother, made his professional debut at the theater as well in The Most Happy Fella that we did a few years ago. It was Zach and Mark Turner and Tess Burnham.
Beautiful.
And so we have the Turners are coming back again this year to do crew.
God bless them.
I love Talia, but she has her exam.
She's got her exam. I'm going to put a link to the David Sedaris thing. I'm going to go to the website and put a link to it. Is there anything?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I want to mention there's a wine dinner on November 7th at Feather and Wedge. Feather and Wedge is doing dollar oysters every day from 5 to 6. And at their Sunday jazz brunch. Tono starting on the 1st. November 1st is starting their Thursday bar bites thing with the cheap bar bites. And they're doing Tuesday night dollar oysters. Minglewood is doing on Mondays, buy 2 sushi rolls, get the third one for free. 43-cent wings and stump trivia on Tuesday nights. Burger, 6 special burgers for $10 each on Thursday night. So check that out.
I have a question for you.
Go.
Have you gone for your birthday dinner and dessert at Serenity for your rewards card?
I have not yet, but that's going to happen.
You better go. You only have a little
couple days.
I went this week. I took my mom for her birthday dinner, and they're doing bread pudding every week.
So what she's speaking about is if you have the Serenity Rewards card, which we talk about all the time, just about every month they put free stuff on your card. It's insane not to have it. If you don't like money, don't get the Serenity Rewards card.
Here's $10.
But your birthday.
Here's $10. Come spend it.
Yeah.
But your birthday, an entree for free.
You know what?
And a dessert.
And
a dessert.
Card on my birthday, and I went to Serenity for my birthday.
Whoops.
Whoops.
That's all right. He paid for it. Whatever.
And he's now to the left, right?
Yeah.
You swipe to the left.
Whatever.
But yeah, it was a Nutella bread pudding. It was a special dessert. It had just come out of the oven. It wasn't on the menu yet.
Love it.
And I heard somebody talking about it. I'm like, we want the bread pudding for dessert. They're going to do a new bread. It was delicious.
Kim, do you know what I'm dying to see?
I know what you're dying to see.
What am I dying to see?
You're dying to see that little bit of footage that I got of the rusty blackbird.
30-second clip.
A 30-second clip.
Very rare.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
Well,
Tell me what it is.
It's a beautiful little blackbird. It's very small, and its population has plummeted 80 to 99%.
I bet you it's those nasty GMOs.
No, but it's
Monsanto.
It's part of what's going on with climate change, and like so many species, the whole world, it's loss of habitat and climate change, which is probably the major reason why it's in decline. But it was beautiful, and I was standing at Niles Pond filming another wild creature, and it just hopped right there down at my feet, and I was just like,
He knew you were there.
I was just like, oh my god,
what a find!
Yeah, so I just turned my camera on him, and he just there for a couple of seconds, and then off he flew. And I was like, what if I didn't have my camera? Nobody would believe me that I'd seen it. It's like when the Wilson's plovers came to Gloucester this summer. Nobody would have believed me about that.
You got the footage. We're going to link to it in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Wow.
This week, this window here was witness to about 5 or 6 birds that slammed right into it. Little birdies. And the reason why, I think, because they were all kind of weird birds that I'd never really seen before. We had that really cold snap. And I think they were just all kind of confused and like trying to like get someplace warm. Or they saw the light. It was
Like the wind is blowing from all different directions.
Yeah.
I
A
saw
bunch
that.
of birds just smash. It was hilarious. Just bam.
And then what happened to them? Were they stunned? Did they lie down on the ground? Or?
But it was so one like they stunned. It fell, but then it kind of got up, and then it like kind of see the overhead door right there, kind of perched itself on there. But then it just fucking wham right back into the window again, like they didn't learn.
Did you?
It's awesome.
Did you take a picture of it?
I tried to, but every time. So it's like there's like a couple minutes in between each slam.
Yeah.
So you see it, you're like, oh, I'll get my camera out and try to capture this.
Right.
So then you turn around because like, oh, it went away, and then, you're doing something over here, and then bam, you're like, oh, get your camera. Like, oh, I missed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee, that's sad.
I know. What we really should have done was you should have put police tape around the whole business and shut it down for the day, and try to make it so that the bird didn't slam into the
You could
window.
just open the window and let it come in, or you could put
Perch on your shoulder.
No, because then what could happen is I could unsuspectfully you could slam into and eat my eye, or do something bad.
Was it the same bird?
I think it was, yeah.
Was it just like, damn, would this guy get his camera out?
I know. I'm like, I'm trying to give him some good footage here. You know me and animals. I always have a thing in my head that all animals want to eat me or kill me or destroy me.
You don't know how many birds are lost to flying into windows and glass.
I know. They should outlaw glass.
Yeah.
They should outlaw glass.
Well,
Yeah, it's terrible how many birds die.
Put a little design on something.
Yes, people just put stickers on the glass or something like that. And that keeps the
So they
birds-
can
Like a
they know
bullseye?
that
I could put little hearts, bullseye sticker, a transparent bullseye sticker,
Was that door open?
and we could do a game with points for wherever that blood splat is on the bullseye.
I'm just totally
In
not.
the middle is 100.
Totally not hearing the
Yeah,
door.
right? Exactly.
Was that door open? Was that door open out there?
All the doors are open. We're working, so
Oh, I'm sad for the little bird. That's really,
I know.
Now
It
you
was
ruined
terrible.
Kim's day, Joey. I
It
don't know.
was terrible.
But sometimes I think it's nature's, it's just nature's
Darwin
calling.
Award.
Yeah, it's definitely Darwin just helping out.
Helping
on that
out.
one.
Yeah, maybe it became food for a wayward rat.
no, that's not. That's not.
We don't have
Or
rats.
another
down
That's
crow.
not Darwinian.
Crow.
Darwinian is, survival of the fittest, but not when you
And
have
a dumb
elements.
bird that flies at the windows.
No, not when you have like elements, man-made elements like that. That's
No,
a
evil
that's a
people.
thing.
Evil
No, it's
humans.
not evil. It's just learning
Evil
how to live.
humans placed
It's
the
just
glass
learning how-
plate for the birds to die.
It's
Evil
learning
humans.
how to live with wildlife.
So you have levels of evil. Evil human, evil male, evil white male, evil right white rich male. That's the apex of evil. All white men.
See, we're not getting political.
No, I know,
But
we are
With
characterized.
Yeah.
I'm an evil person by nature of being a white man,
Middle-aged
man.
Middle-aged
I'm
white
an evil
male.
person.
Could be Halloween, you know, the birds, Alfred Hitchcock coming for you, Joe.
There it is.
Yeah, the crows at the house. That'll probably, you better watch out.
Did you see the horse thing I posted with the horse kicking all the humans in the head?
I didn't. I saw the caption, and I meant to look at it, but then I got distracted, so I didn't see it. But
the caption was when your kid asks you to buy you a horse.
Right.
Yeah, so go find that. It was all different clips of horses just absolutely taking humans out.
See, I figured it was something like that, but then I got distracted, so I didn't look at it.
Something sparkly. Something sparkly got you. Eastern Point Lit House, Little Women is the Duckworth's Book Club event on November 18th.
Yes.
I didn't know. I thought that the Lit House was defunct.
The Lit House is no longer on, they no longer have their physical space on East Main Street, but it's still going strong. And Chris is still doing book editing and things like that.
Oh,
so,
great.
yeah, it's still going strong. And we still have our, book club events, which are wonderful. The last one was George Orwell's 1984.
Very apropos.
Very apropos in the worst possible way. So, but it was very lively discussion, and then this week this month it's something much lighter, Little Women, which I'm really anticipating. I haven't read it since I read it 100 times when I was a kid, but I haven't read it as an adult yet. So.
Open Door Autumn Breakfast. You went and covered that, didn't you?
Yeah, I went and covered it. It was just amazing. It's the 40th year, which I didn't really realize.
Who were the award winners? Because they always, there's those people. Was Warren one of them?
No, but he's
gotta be
he did get a thing on the program that said our cream of the crop supporter. But Sherry Zizak won for Unsung Hero Award, and it was wonderful because
awesome.
she was accepting her award, and then just spontaneously everybody stood up. And was cheering, and it was just really, it was very special.
I love her as a person.
Yeah,
she's been a big supporter of
so
life.
much for the community.
I tell you.
Right, and it really, she truly is unsung. I mean,
she does so much stuff without.
Are hosted there.
She does so much stuff without any fanfare.
Right.
Michael, you probably there's a lot of people that support the Gloucester Maritime, and. So you see it firsthand. Like a lot of these people are just don't even want their names attached. So many. I would want my name attached.
It's amazing.
To it. I want like flashing lights toward my name. No, I'm joking.
And it's
no, but
not
really,
and it's not like because I don't want other people to ask or anything like this. It's just because they just want you to do good work and help the community. You know what I mean? It's really fantastic. Sherry was part of our docs and integral part of it. And fantastic, and getting her just to come to, a photo op to show handing over the check was like, okay, I'll do it, but she didn't need to, didn't need to do it. She's fantastic.
She's
huge asset. All these things that come, so many of them people fight tooth and nail to not make them happen, and they come and they're such supporters of our community, and you're just like enough with these people, I mean,
it's a whole hospitality group that, it's all the things they do, not just at Cruise Port, but at Beaufort too.
Beaufort, all over. The high school, they paid for the fields to get redone at the field. The list goes on and on.
Is that for them getting redone? Is that because of the storm last year?
No, it was originally that they.
No, I don't think they paid for the most recent one.
No, Jim.
Yeah.
But
field naming rights, right?
Right.
No, I don't know. It was like before they were even doing the hotel that they it was like $500,000 or something. It's a huge number. But
also they have their annual food drive. And I think I gave you the date. Is it November 18th? It's their Thanksgiving food drive from like 9 to 3, and you can. I put a list on the post that I did about the autumn breakfast that says what the items that they need most, like, of course, not fresh fruit and stuff like that, but healthy snacks,
peanut butter,
canned
pasta.
tuna, pasta, anything super healthy that's dry and, not instantly perishable. Juice boxes, 100% juice, not fake juice. So that's November 18th.
How about Red Bull? Do you like Red Bulls?
No,
I'm joking. No, of course not. It's nasty.
Stuff.
Alicia.
Yes.
Tell me about tasteforliving.com, our friend.
Yes, Jessica Brand Alves. You probably know her as the creator of Dinner Dealer that she had a few years ago, which was still, I think, the most amazing idea ever. But
and her really cute kids too, right?
Yeah, so she had to leave to go have a kid, and so it was just a big project. So anyway, so her new venture is tasteforliving.com. She also has a Facebook page, and she's probably one of the most creative and talented people I know.
Very passionate.
Oh my God, yes. So what she wants to do is she wants to create different ways of entertaining at your house without, basically, you don't have to have, your house does not have to be perfect all the time. You can have friends and entertain and still be creative and, not have these 5-star dinners, So that's kind of what her, her site's about. But so on Facebook, A Taste for Living, she actually has the Waffle Project, and every Wednesday she goes live, and she has a half an hour show of what you can make in a waffle maker, and it doesn't have to be a last week she did quesadillas. I was on twice with her. We did apple cider donuts, which they were the freaking most amazing things I've ever had in my life.
Is the recipe on there?
Yes, so she has the tasteforliving.com, and you go to the Waffle Project, and every single recipe that she's done so far is on there. She's so we wanted to, I think at one point, I'm going to go back like in March. She's booked up until about March with different guests every week.
Oh, I got to get in the list.
Yeah.
I got to get in the queue because so I will actually be able to do it when my slow time comes in the spring.
Yeah. So just really cool. She's just super creative and graphic designer first by trade. So everything she does is just beautiful.
Yeah, we love her.
She should come on the show again.
Yeah, we'll have her on.
Yeah.
She knows she's one of these people like Heidi that always has an open invitation, and Michael. Now he always uses it. Now that he's proved himself as a worthy guest, he has an open value added to the podcast.
Not over yet.
There's a chance to mess it all up. He could try to spike me in my ankle on the way out like Manny Machado, and then we will forever. He would be dead to us.
I have to ask
There you go. I brined my first turkey yesterday, and I'm going to smoke it this afternoon.
Oh wow!
Wish me luck.
Are we still doing our Thanksgiving podcast next?
GMG Giving is next Sunday, right?
Okay.
Isn't it next Sunday? Is that what we're talking about?
GMG Giving.
Yeah, next Sunday, GMG Giving.
Everybody's invited too.
No. Shh. Not everybody.
I mean, everybody.
You have all those.
Everybody in this room.
Everybody in this room is invited. The people we know who we don't want to have, and the freeloaders. All the art show freeloaders.
If anybody's hungry, please come.
If you ever came to one of our show openings on Rocky Neck and passed by all of us on the way to the food at the back of the gallery and drank our wine and ate our food and never bought anything or never said hello. Never said hello or I like your work on the walls, then you're not invited.
Yes, but anybody who's hungry.
Let's be clear.
Please come if you're hungry and you want to say hello.
So
what is she trying to make this the next GMG Christmas party or what?
Yeah, no, we can't. We don't want it to be a shit show.
I know it's not going to be. Believe me, it's not.
I want it to be intimate, and not in a sexual kind of way. Is that okay?
Yes, that's good. Okay. I'm glad you found your way here, Michael. It's great.
Yes. Everyone in this room was officially invited, but no freeloaders.
Yeah.
And everybody has to bring stuff.
No one knew the
If you come, it's potluck too.
Yeah, if you come, you have to bring something.
Can I bring wine? It's usually my thing.
Can I bring a frozen turkey for you to fry?
I've never fried a turkey, but I'm going to smoke one.
You're going to smoke one. So how did it?
I want to hear my brine. Want to hear what I've done my brine?
Yeah.
Have you brined a turkey?
No.
Interesting.
No, I'm not really into brining.
No, I know.
I would have. I lost a lot of money guessing that if I had to guess if you had ever brined a turkey or not, I would have lost a lot of money on that. So here was my brine. I used I had those Omaha steaks. They ship meat in the super thick styrofoam containers.
Yeah.
So I was kind of nervous because I didn't have a big container to brine my turkey in.
Right.
But I have for the wharf for our restaurants. I have these 3 millimeter thick, heavy duty plastic bags. So I doubled up these, and they're gusseted, so it's a perfect shape. Put that inside the big thick styrofoam thing. Put the turkey. I took I didn't realize this is my first experience. I've never cooked a turkey, but
you had to take all the guts
I had
out?
to take the shit out of the bird, the neck and everything.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's all right.
you never done that before?
I'm not a real cook. I'm a griller, and this is my first turkey that I've ever grilled.
It's his first turkey.
This is blowing my
Did you
mind
make sure
right
that
here.
you
I'm a guy. I don't cook. What?
Did you make sure you got it all? The first one I ever did, I was like, wait a minute, there's no gizzard. Where's the gizzard? And it was like way up there.
It's in there.
Oh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
better double check.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
you
better
got
check on the gizzard.
What?
You gotcha.
The inside.
No, I know. I got the neck, but
The insides, not just the neck. The insides.
Yeah.
You gotta get the gizzards
way
out.
up
You gotta get
in
the
there, man.
gizzards. So
all right, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna double check.
You know, like one of these.
listen,
Yeah, go right up inside the Google. Right inside the Google.
at both ends.
Yeah.
The neck is in the big cavity,
Yeah, that
but you
can
have to
ruin
lift the flap
yeah.
up at the rear end
brine neck
and
can
pull
ruin.
the.
Oh,
pull
trust.
the-
As soon as I go home, I'm gonna pull the
There's a
gizzard.
bag of
Yeah.
stuff in there.
Okay. Oh, there's a bag. It's in a bag.
Yeah,
It's usually in a bag.
sometimes it's in a bag.
Hopefully, or your
Sometimes
brine's done.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm in good shape. So,
Don't come next week.
no, I'm cooking this thing. This is why I did my first one.
this
So,
is his practice one.
so,
Great.
so I put the turkey in the bag. I left it like an inch of the turkey sticking out. I put in 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of coarse salt, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, a little bit more than 2 tablespoons of each, 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic, and some pineapple soda, a cup of pineapple soda. Yeah, and so I overnight I did it. I started it yesterday morning, and this morning before work I took it out and I laid it on a cooking tray with the wire rack, so it can in the fridge for the day, so it'll dry off a little bit because I'm going for crispy skin.
Oh, I love
I
crispy
don't
skin.
want mushy skin. I'm gonna go high
Crispy
heat
skin. So
indirect
when are you doing that?
this afternoon.
So how long will it take?
About 2.5 to
That's
3
it?
hours. Yeah.
Oh, how many
High
pounds do you
heat.
get?
Huh? 13 pounds.
Okay, so that's
It might be
good.
3
That's a good
pounds.
size.
Yeah, it's a good size. Wow.
That's a great.
Can't wait to
size.
see how that.
Well, I
turns
was
out.
looking for a 10 pounder. To
That's
be
a little
honest
bit
with
too
you,
small, probably.
but they say that when you go really big, they tend to be dry because you have to cook them so long
So long outside.
that they tend to dry out. I've been personally scarred by my mother's turkeys
I've
growing
never
up.
made a bad turkey, so I don't know what it is.
Well, it's because you're young.
She takes the gizzard.
Older folks grew up with standards from the government saying that you need to bring your meat to certain temperatures that were always like pork and
Pork,
chicken.
right.
Like they told you needed to bring them to outrageous numbers, which made the shit unedible,
Try the shit out.
inedible.
Especially pork and poultry.
Pork and poultry, right.
Yeah.
And now we found out you don't need to have it. Anyway, so I'm gonna smoke it offset with some peach wood, and I am gonna bring it to 165 degrees internal in the breast.
Nice.
I think it's gonna be fantastic.
Wow.
We'll see.
Excited to
What should I? What should I?
next year-
Okay, give me a. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys. What should I put on the outside of the turkey before I put it in? Before I cook it.
But for basting, you're talking about
Do
basting.
you just put it in without anything? No rub on it or
Salt,
anything?
pepper,
When,
garlic.
when,
So, same thing, yeah.
when I
Yeah,
make a
just-
turkey, I just I rub it all
No
over.
butter, no olive oil on the
When I-
skin.
No.
Oh, I do.
No.
Really?
SPG.
What do you do?
When I roast a turkey, I rub butter and no. My first round is olive oil and salt and pepper, and have that all over, and I cook it in a couple inches of water so that
In
I
the
have
water?
lots of gravy.
In the water or above the water?
No, in the water. Trust me, it works. It's very tender and delicious. And then throughout, I baste it with butter because I like to. I actually quadruple my gravy recipe, and so I need a lot of fat and broth in the pan for the recipe. But it's very crispy on the outside and crispy and buttery. And
so I read somewhere. I've done an intense amount of YouTube research on how to cook a turkey on a Weber grill, and a lot of barbecue forums. A lot of people said, so in relation to not having a dried out turkey, everybody said bring it to 165. But the second thing that they said was, if you put a lot of all your stuffing up there, that increases the cook time, and that will lead to a dry turkey as well.
I would never put my stuffing in the cavity ever.
Well, people used to do that.
Sucks the moisture out.
Yeah.
Very old school way.
Very old school way.
And also, you can a
die.
A lot of bacteria.
Trichinosis.
Yeah, if you don't get the gizzards out, and then you put that stuff in it.
Right.
But you know what? You know how to make your
pants out.
This is how you make
1 o'clock this morning. The Red Sox game's going to be over, and everybody's going to be running for the toilet.
This is how you make your stuffing taste like turkey, though. So you have your pan of stuffing, right? You take one of the turkey basters and squirt some of that buttery liquid all over it while it's baking, so it gets nice and crispy on top, and then very moist and tender on the inside with the flavor of the baking turkey. So I make my stuffing in the morning.
You put water. You don't put chicken stock in your in the liquid in the pan.
No, because it makes a stock with the
what flows out.
Right,
of it.
what flows out, and also I put a couple onions and celery and a few vegetables.
Do you put oranges?
No.
Do you put onion?
Onions.
Yeah.
Couple big onions in
people
there.
Say onions.
Quartered.
Apples. Some people say apples.
Yeah, I don't put apples in. No.
How about you? What do you put inside yours? Anything?
The inside the cavity?
Yeah.
I do fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, fresh garlic.
Inside.
Yeah, and a crap load of garlic cloves, whole cloves, and salt, pepper, garlic. You always want to make sure that you season the inside too. You season the inside just like you do the outside.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then my onions actually sit on the outside.
I'm confused. So I put my onions on the outside.
Didn't you do a lot of onions on the
outside? Not in the cavity?
Not
for the flavor.
Nothing in the cavity.
Yeah.
It's a German.
Oh, not in the
we
cavity.
do water in the turkey, but at the very end to make the gravy.
Yeah.
So we do it at the very end.
You do it at the very end.
Yeah.
See, when you cook it the whole time with a little bit of water, you never run the risk of it drying out or because my oven isn't that stable. Like the temperature fluctuates, so.
I live and die by my Pampered Chef thermometer that you put it right inside. Anything you're baking in the oven, and the wire comes up, and you have you can't. It's just foolproof.
Foolproof. I have a remote. I have a remote digital thermometer for my grill.
I need to look in. We need to look into.
I'm going to give you the brand of a commercial grade one that every couple months they go on sale, and there's something that you'll have for the rest of your life. And instead of buying a bunch of like junky ones, you buy this one, have it for the rest of your life, and you will never regret the purchase.
You should just do
it's about 75 degrees. I have done it in the past on northeastbarbecue.com, my barbecue site. Pimp daddy. Very nice. Pimp fucking daddy right there. That's how you pimp.
You should just do Christmas. This should be your kitchen Christmas wish list. Like add these to your list. Joey approved.
I have pinned to the top of northeastbarbecue.com is barbecue essential gear.
And you inspired me to take out my salt block, so I have bought a Himalayan Himalayan salt block.
The salt block.
Did you do the scallops on it?
I did scallops and shrimp.
But
that was I had it for a couple of years. Haven't touched it. He inspired me because we now have a charcoal Weber. So Peter smokes every single weekend. And
isn't it great?
Yeah,
it's a great thing for anyone. The reason that there's many reasons I love grilling, but one of the main reasons is with a monotonous job. You see, your job, you can be creative.
Yeah, do stuff.
Right, you do stuff. You meet people. You're pushing initiatives. Yeah. Right, it's fantastic. Right? When you have a job that is doing the same thing every day that you've done for 40 plus years. You need a creative outlet. And then you have a family, right? And then you have responsibilities with the family. And then I have 100 fishermen that I need to answer to. I have my family that I need to answer to. So I have a bunch of bosses or people that are pushing and pulling. When I'm at the grill, right, I have to tend the charcoal. I have to tend the meat. I'm outside. No one can get to me. People are happy that they don't have to prepare food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I get to eat something I know is going to end up being. I mean, I've probably put up 2 incredible stinkers out of a tremendous amount of winners in the past year. I'm going to tell you one of my big stinkers, because I'll admit my failures. They're not all winners, but a failure was beef shanks, and they were too thin. And they just completely dried out, and it was inedible. But I've done oxtail, and they've been phenomenal. One of the best things I've done. I thought I could get them to do the same way, but they were too thin.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough fat to braise and to melt down that connective tissue and make it melt in your mouth delicious.
This is why I wait to listen to your podcast just before lunch, because I'm like hungry right now.
There you go, baby. There you go. Have some tiramisu.
It always seems to like come around to it.
There you go. All right. Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. I forgot to thank Catherine Ryan because I believe she brought the coffee.
She did bring the coffee
and the silverware and stuff like that. So, Catherine, thank you for that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Kim, thank you for my birthday. Organizing the birthday stuff.
You're welcome for your coffee rolls.
My coffee rolls.
They were yummy, right?
You're so sweet.
That's
GloucesterCast 304 is in the books. Boom!
Oh my goodness.